Hello everybody and welcome to another video. And today I'm going to do something that I don't really do very often, but I really feel is something I should do a bit more often. I'm going to be looking at an independent band, a band that's not like very widely known, that sort of thing. And I think that's the sort of thing I should do a little bit more often. Anyway, we're going to be looking at a band called If Hope Dies. Now, I got a message from them a few days ago asking if I'd have a look at their newest track, and I thought, why not? I don't look at enough independent bands. Now, I've got very little information about the band. All I can tell you is they are an independent experimental / modern metal band from India, formed in 2011. And a couple of days ago, they released a new song called Lost, which is what we're going to look at today. Now, with it being called experimental / modern metal, I'm not entirely sure exactly what this is going to sound like, so I'm not entirely sure what to expect. I do have lyrics here for the song. They come from directly underneath the video, which of course I'll put a link to down below, as I usually do. So with there not being much more to say about the band as such, we'll jump into this track and see what we've got. So this is Lost by If Hope Dies. Let's have a look.
As the day gets darker and the night gets colder, I remember you embracing, guiding me to the light and being my armor. My voice trembles as I'm singing this song for you. I know our body is mortal. This war, we're here living in a borrowed time. I wish I could say this to you, not a single day passes by thinking about you. I'm trying to walk on my legs and now I'm trying to open my eyes so weary. I cried little more inside, only your memory resides. Your memory resides. What of you will always be in me. Your blood runs through my vein. I'll find the strength as you have always taught me to look beyond negativity. As you've always taught me to look beyond negativity. Yes, the sun never sets you down, and the moon never fails to shine. I will accept the fact that you are here. I will remember you true. Now
There we go. If Hope Dies with Lost. Now, I was going to say at the end of the, when we got to this part, that this song is about dealing with loss, the loss of loved ones, family members, and what have you. And it said it at the end of the video for me, so I don't really need to go into that. But it is actually quite an emotional song. The actual lyrics do have a quite an impact, really. And I like the way the song's been done. It's very interesting. I see what they mean by experimental. I mean, when you listen to it, it's got elements of like deathcore in it. Maybe it's got elements of prog metal in there as well. It's very interesting. And what I really like is during those elements of the sort of hardcore vocal, the harsh vocals, they've got like the heavy guitars, they've got the heavy drums, but in the background of that, there's this sort of soft piano music, which is a huge contrast to the music that's at the forefront. In the background there's this sort of soothing, melancholic piano, and when you say that, it doesn't sound like it should work. You got the harsh, brutal metal element, and then in the background a melancholic piano. But the way that comes together in the piece of music, it sounds brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic and very interesting piece of music. And again, this is another band that has employed multiple vocal styles throughout the song. Of course, there were the sort of harsh, screamed vocals with the sort of predominant vocal style, but they did have, some cleaner vocal style in there as well. So overall, I actually quite liked it. I thought that was very, very good. I didn't know what to expect going into this, and they didn't draw anything out. They went straight into the music. It opened with the piano and then it went boom straight into the vocals. There wasn't any huge lead up. They just went straight for it. It sounded great. Now the lyrics, it opens with, I'm going to call it the chorus because it's repeated 2 or 3 times throughout the song. It says, "I'm trying to walk, but my legs are numb. I'm trying to look, but my eyes are wearied. I cried a little more inside. Only your memory resides." So, immediately opening with a description of how someone feels when they're like remembering a loved one that they've lost. And they feel numb. They feel they've got no energy. They can't walk because their legs are numb. They just don't have the strength to move because they're so emotionally drained. It says, "I'm trying to look, but my eyes are weary." Their eyes are tired and sore. Again, probably, from the emotional strain that this loss has had on them, probably from crying so much. And it even says, "I cried a little more inside. Only your memory resides." So, that's all they've got left of this person they love so much is the memory. And it carries on. "As the day gets darker and the night gets colder, I remember you embracing me in your arms, guiding me to the light and being my armor. My voice trembles as I am singing this song for you." So, days get darker, nights get longer, everything feels so much more oppressive, the darkness sort of takes over, that sort of depression sort of feeling. It says, "I remember you holding me in your arms, guiding me to the light and being my armor." They felt that this person sort of protected them from the world, no matter how bad things got, this person made them feel better. It made them feel stronger, this person literally protected them from what a crappy world it is outside. This person made their life brighter and better and happier, which is essentially what that whole part was saying. It says, "My voice trembles as I am singing this song for you." So, the emotion of this loss, that they can barely hold back the tears, the raw emotion as they're trying to express how much this person meant. "I know our body is but a vessel. We are here living in a borrowed time. I wish I could say this to you. Not a single day passes by thinking about you." Now, I had to read that line twice because the first time I read it, I was like, what? And it says, "I wish I could say this to you. Not a single day passes by thinking of you." So he wishes he could say he doesn't think about this person all the time. I wish I could say, not a single day goes by when I'm thinking about you. You know, I wish I could say I'm not thinking about you every single day, but you're always on my mind. You are so important to me. You are such a impactful and important person in my life that I cannot go a day without thinking about you. You are always in my thoughts. No matter what I'm doing, no matter where I am, I'm always thinking of you, no matter what. Then it goes back into that chorus part. I'm trying to walk, but my legs are numb. I'm trying to look, but my eyes are weary. I cried a little more inside. Only your memory resides. A part of you will always be in me. Your blood runs through my veins. I will find the strength, as you have always taught me, to look beyond negativity. So a part of you will always be in me. You know, no matter what happens, you will always be a part of me. Even though you're not physically here, there is a part of you, your memory, the impact you've had on my life, things you've done to change me as a person. You know, that will always be a part of me. So no matter what happens, no one can take that away from me. You are always a part of me. Your blood runs through my veins. So again, you're an integral part of me. You are a part of me. It says, I will find the strength, as you have always taught me, to look beyond negativity. So, you know, I will get over this loss, but I will still continue to think about you, and you know, I will persevere. I will push forward. I will carry on, because you taught me to be strong no matter what bad things happen. You always push me to carry on. You always give me the strength to continue. As the sun never sets to fail and the moon never fails to shine, I will accept the fact that you are gone. I will remember you throughout the time, because in my memory we are not done. Now that last line, because in my memory we are not done, it's actually in brackets, and I didn't actually hear it in the song, but I feel that is a very important line, and it's a shame that I didn't actually hear it. You know, it might be in the song, but I missed it. But I think that's such a vital line. You know, it says, I will accept the fact you're gone. You know, I will come to terms with the fact that you have passed, that you've left, that you're gone, that you've died, what have you. I'll come to terms with that. And I will remember you for the rest of my life. You will always be an integral part of me, no matter what. Because in my memory, we are not done. I love that line. It's such a fantastic line. Because it's like, we're not done. We're still friends. Even though you're gone, you still mean the world to me. You are still a vital part of my life. I am not done with you yet. You know, you're that important that even death cannot take away your impact on my life. Even in death, you are still vital to my life. And I just really love the impact of that last line. It is so good, you know, and like I said, the way that that's written, I think, is absolutely beautiful. It's powerful, it's emotional, and you know, the fact that it's about, you know, dealing with the loss of someone that you love and care about, you know. And I've said thousands of times, I love songs that have meanings, that have stories, that have a purpose. And you know, this hits all those you know, it hits all those elements. You know, it's powerful, it's thought-provoking, it's emotional, it's brilliant. It's a beautiful piece of music. I love the performance of it. I love the vocal performance. I love the musical performance. I really love that sort of the juxtaposition between the heavy music and that sort of beautiful piano as well. I think this is a fantastic piece of music. And this is why I do what I do, because I want to discover music like this, which is why I really think I need to start looking at more independent and lesser known bands, because I want to discover hidden gems like this, which I think more people should hear. You know, I hope that more people get to hear this band, because this is amazing. It is a fantastic piece of music. But I don't know what else I can say without repeating myself, as I've already done several times. So I'm going to leave that as it is. Now, if anybody would like to suggest a track for me to react to, then please do so by all means. You can drop a comment in the comment section below, or message me on my Facebook or my Instagram, or you could even message me through my Patreon, where you could also help to support this channel, which would, of course, be a massive help to me, since every piece of content I create for this channel gets immediately demonetized the moment that I upload it, which is a little bit frustrating, but, you know, it is what it is. There's an option within Patreon where you can get your suggestion jumped to the front of the queue, should you so desire it. There is a limit on how frequently you can do that. It's limited to once a month, and that's just to be fair to people who suggest tracks through more regular means such as YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And if you do suggest a track through YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, do know it could take me a while to get around to your suggestions, since I do get suggested so many new tracks every single day that my list grows faster than I can record the videos. But I do write down every suggestion I get, so it should get done eventually. It just might take me a while to get around to it. Also, MetalHead Reacts is a proud supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, a British-based charity whose goal is to put an end to hate crimes. And one of the main facets of that is hate crimes against people of the alternative community. And it's something I believe in very strongly, and it's something that very frequently sort of gets brushed over. You know, people just sort of ignore it and don't pay it any attention. And that's something that really needs to change, because it's a very real problem that's been going on for decades. And, you know, we're not just talking about people shouting insults or, you know, shoulder ramming someone from the alternative community as they're walking down the street. We're talking about brutal, violent crimes where people are getting hospitalized, sometimes with broken limbs and sometimes even more life-threatening injuries. And, you know, every day we hear about all these other hate crimes like sexism, racism, homophobia, transphobia, religious hatred, ableism, etc. We hear about these on a daily basis, from the most heinous and violent of these crimes down to the most petty and pathetic and childish of these crimes. We hear these in every facet of the news on a daily basis. But as soon as it comes to someone from the alternative community getting violently and brutally assaulted, nothing ever gets said. You know, the last time there was a widespread conversation about this sort of thing was 14 years ago, when Sophie Lancaster and her boyfriend Rob Maltby were violently and brutally assaulted by a group of 5 or 6 people who beat them so severely, they stamped on their heads so violently that they both ended up in comas. Now, Rob Maltby, he thankfully survived the assault. He was in a coma for around about a week and a half, maybe a little bit longer. But Sophie Lancaster was in a coma for 13 days before she succumbed to her injuries and she died. This young woman was 20 years old and was beaten to death just because of her taste in music and clothing. Now, when this happened, this was all over the news, as rightfully it should have been, and over time the story faded into the background, as you'd expect it to. But in the 14 years since that happened, we've not heard a single story like it. You know, nothing has been said since. Yet there have been several hundred, if not several thousand, similar incidents in that time. The only major difference is that no one has died as a result. And that's the key feature there. That people won't speak about this unless someone dies. And that's unacceptable. We shouldn't have to wait for someone to lose their life before this gets spoken about. We shouldn't have to wait for someone to die before something gets done. And that's what the Sophie Lancaster Foundation is all about. They want to bring more attention to the fact that this is happening. They want more people to talk about this. They want there to be more recognition of the fact that this is a very real problem and deserves as much attention as all of these other hate crimes that get spoken about on a daily basis. Because the more we ignore it, the more it's going to happen, because the people committing these crimes feel that they can get away with it because no one's going to pay any attention to it. And if we carry on ignoring it, it's only a matter of time before what happened to Sophie Lancaster happens again, and we cannot allow that to happen. You know, they don't want to see another family go through what they went through when they had to watch their daughter slowly die over the course of 2 weeks because of the small-minded actions of a group of people who couldn't handle the fact that somebody liked something different to them, that not everybody likes the same thing. These violent crimes against people of the alternative community deserve as much attention and as much, you know, they deserve to be spoken about just as much as any other hate crime. But at the moment, they're not getting spoken about, nothing's getting done, they're just getting ignored. And that needs to change. So if you'd like to find out more about the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, there's a link to their website in the description below. You can go over there, find out what they're working on at the moment, find out what their overall goal is, because they can explain it a heck of a lot better than I can. And if you can help them out in any small way, obviously you don't feel obligated to do so, but if you can help them out in any small way, whether it be a small donation through their website or something as simple as like one of these Sophie wristbands, maybe even that one, you know, they've got a whole bunch of other really cool stuff going on over there. But, you know, the sooner we get more people talking about this, the sooner we bring more attention to this, the sooner we can help to stamp out prejudice, hatred, and intolerance everywhere. But I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.